Well, good day to all of you. So, Team Assignment Spot is going to present you about the negotiation skills in international negotiation in business environment topic. Let's move on to the second slide of this presentation. So, you can see the slide content of the presentation, what we are going to talk today. So, the upcoming slides will be the content of this presentation. I mean, what we are going to talk about it in general and in analytic manner. What is globalization? Actually, globalization is a wide-ranging, intricate and politically fraught repercussions. Similar to significant technological advancements, globalization is good for society as a whole while being bad for some groups. Recognizing the relative cost and benefits can help solve issues while maintaining larger benefits. Globalization or globalization as it is known in some parts of the world is driven by the convergence of cultural and economic systems. This convergence prompts and in some cases necessitates increased interaction, integration and interdependence among nations. The more countries and regions of the world become intertwined politically, culturally and economically, the more globalized the world becomes. So let's move on to the examples of the globalization. Actually, there are five main types of examples, which I'm going to uh, give you a small explanation about each of them. First, let's take the economic impact. Economic is the emergence of trading systems among global actors such as businesses or NGOs. Political, governmental action now occurs on a global scale thanks to the growth and expanding influence of organizations like the UN and WHO. There are further organizations functioning on a worldwide scale, such as NGOs like Oxfam or Doctors Without Borders. So, when we go to the financial, it can be connected to the development of a worldwide financial system that involves currency and financial transactions. For instance, stock markets are an excellent illustration of how people throughout the world are financially interconnected, because when one stock market declines, it has a negative impact on other markets as well as the economy as a whole. When it comes to the technological impact, the phenomena whereby millions of individuals are connected to one another through the power of the internet and websites like Facebook, Instagram, Skype or YouTube. And finally, the cultural. It refers to the blending of cultures, which causes nations to adopt the values, customs and attire of other nations while sacrificing their own distinctive culture in favor of a supranational, globally unified one. So let's see, how does international negotiations connect with globalization. International negotiation has a connection between the globalization. Basically, in the dynamic working backgrounds, mainly the procedures are power-based. When handling negotiations in the business environment, certain cultural issues, economic issues and conflicts can be occurred when working with different working cultures and people. It's highly impact on the behaviors of the people who works together and cultural barriers also can be the reason for some issues. So now we are moving on to the negotiation skills required for managers. There are six main skills that we are going to explain it further in this slide. So the first one is the communication, then planning, strategy, emotional intelligence, value creation and reflection. So we will talk about these negotiation skills separately in this slide. So first, let's move on to the communication part. You can have courteous discussions with other negotiators and work toward an amicable resolution when you have effective communication skills. Deal making naturally involves giving and receiving. So it's critical to express your ideas clearly and pay attention to the requirements and needs of others. Without this ability, important debate points may be missed, making it impossible for all parties to come away from the negotiation satisfied. So the next step or the next skill will be the planning. Any negotiation must start with a clear plan of what you want to accomplish and where your boundaries are. Without sufficient planning, you run the risk of forgetting crucial deal terms. Then the next skill is strategy. You require a deep understanding of negotiation strategies in addition to the capacity to add value and careful preparation. For each negotiation you take part in, you can develop a customized approach by understanding what works and what doesn't. Think about the following actions to create a powerful bargaining strategy. Describe your job, recognize your worth, recognize your opponent's perspective, be honest with yourself. So, when it comes to the reflection skill, finally you need to evaluate prior discussions and pinpoint areas for development in order to complete your negotiating skills and advance your proficiency. Reflect on what went well and what could have gone better following each negotiation, whether it was successful or not. By doing this, you will be able to assess the strategies that were successful for you and those that weren't. Then the value creation. Its significance can be best understood by using the following analogy. During negotiations, each party usually strives to get the largest piece of the pie possible. This inevitably means that some parties will be left with a much smaller piece because each party will be trying to maximize their slice. Then, about the emotional intelligence. Emotions affect negotiations in both good and bad ways. While it's crucial to avoid letting them stand in the way of coming to a mutually beneficial agreement, you can still take use of them. Positive emotions, for instance, have been demonstrated to improve sentiments of trust at the negotiating table, while negative emotions such as fear or nervousness can be transformed into excitement. So now we are move on to the negotiation skills required for managers. We are in that topic, but we are moving on to this question: how to express this trust? The trust can be expressed in various ways, like how a society views trust, why they want to work with them, the concepts that direct business interactions. Consider several trust-related challenges. Normally, in an organizational background, negotiation can be handled in various ways. One way is to express the trust. So, when considering trust related issues, social trust and views trust challenges when working together. The next is how to express opinions. So, in this point, we are going to find the solutions. How well do you express your negotiation to others? How well do you express your opinions? Value others' opinions. How well the parties understand one another's standards and beliefs can influence the discussion's potential outcomes. So when expressing our opinions, we have to consider about others' opinions as well. We have to value others' opinions. We have to express our opinions in front of others without even feeling that we are expressing negativity towards others. And that's important. Finally, the negotiation skills and how you express the negotiation will be impact on the final outcome of the meetings or gatherings. Next, see how to communicate without utter a word, like handshake, maintaining the eye contact while speaking, when entering a room, knocking the door, don't touch the partner's shoulder. These are the principles that we have to follow. So, like when you want to negotiate without talking to other person, there are skills to follow, like such as I previously mentioned, handshake, keeping the eye contact with the opposite party, knocking door when entering into the room. So now let's see how culture impacts in international negotiations. So in this point, I have chosen two countries. One is Russia and the other one is United States of America. So the culture is based on bargaining, direct communication, relationship oriented, decision making process hierarchical. And USA is based on results oriented, direct communication, individualism and masculinity. The ways of expressing the negotiation is different to each other. So because of their cultural impacts and the behaviors. So in this slide you can see the main factors how these negotiation skills get different. So, in the next slide, I'm going to speak about the do's and don'ts in business negotiation. So, first, let's see what are do's. Do know your bottom line. Do listen to others. Do prepare. Do use a friendly approach. Do consider all of your options. So, let's see what is do prepare. Preparation is one of the most successful negotiation tactics. Investigate the person you will be handling with, from the company they work for to the bargains they have struck in the past. If at all possible, speak with co workers who have already conducted negotiations with the same person or group to acquire insight into what to anticipate. Then, do listen to others. The most crucial negotiation strategy is one that many of us learned early in life but are probably still working on mastering. Listening. It's simple to get wrapped up in your talking points when you are anxious to close a transaction. The 80 to 20 rule, which states that you should listen 80% of the time and speak 20% of the time, is used by the best negotiators. And the other one is do consider all of your options. Knowing your bottom line is crucial, but it's also critical to keep your mind open to a range of possibilities. You can miss an unexpected chance in business negotiations if you approach them with a closed mind. If you approach them with an open mind, you might have thought of it. So now let's see what are don'ts in business negotiation. So don't get caught up in emotions. Don't gloat after a win. Don't underestimate your worth. Don't underestimate anyone. Don't have an all or nothing attitude. So, when it comes to the don'ts, here are main factors. Don't get caught up in emotions. That means, when it comes to business negotiations, don't let your emotions dictate your approach. Not only does it interfere with our judgment, it can lead to highly charged blunders that hinder or halt negotiations altogether. Stay calm and friendly, even if those you are negotiating with aren't. Don't underestimate your worth. One of the biggest potential pitfalls of negotiating, especially for those new to business negotiations, is underestimating what you and your organization have to offer the other party. So, write down your accomplishments or your organization's strengths before going into negotiations and keep them in mind as you advocate for what you want. Don't underestimate anyone, regardless of the number of people or appearance of strength and size or lack thereof on either side. Don't underestimate the power of a determined competitor, including you. Financial worth and business size may be powerful, but so are preparation, a solid plan, and a great attitude. Now we have come to the final stage of this presentation. So what I'm going to talk about at the final stage, you cannot change a culture, but you need to change accordingly. Do you agree with this statement? Let's see. Well, according to this given statement, my opinion is agree. The reason is that we cannot exactly change the culture of another environment, region, or a country. It's their belief or the tradition sometimes. But in the 21st century, all sort of things have been changed. The culture changes according to the economic changes, political changes, and technological changes. In a working background, also people have to get used to the cultural impacts. People always pretend to do things beyond the culture nowadays, but older people not agreeable to some new cultures as well. So it will lead due to some of the conflicts as well. We cannot change as the culture, but what we can do is we can change accordingly step by step. It cannot be done at once also. So it takes time, it takes some time to get used to it. So, now we have come to the end of this slide presentation. Thank you for listening and have a nice day to all of you. And don't forget us to subscribe our YouTube channel assignmentspot for more latest slide presentation videos like this. Hope you will get a broader knowledge or a wider knowledge or as a small pinch of knowledge about these negotiation skills in business management. hope you will have a great experience with this slide presentation. So if you have any clarifications, questions regarding this slide presentations, you are free to contact us. You can comment on this comment QA section of this slide presentation, or else you can contact us via Facebook and Instagram, and also from WhatsApp. So have a nice day to all of you. Let's meet again with another presentation like this.